Well, we're getting towards that time. It's nearly Christmas, although it doesn't seem to be so much of the spirit around here where I live. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about today is something that we were talking about when we were in the live chat room on Wednesday, and we were on about Christmas and how it's different to what it used to be. And I was saying that as a child, my mum was all over Christmas like a rash. She would have us up in the middle of the night with a great big spot camera while she cine-filmed us getting up to go down and get the Christmas presents. And it was all based as a child around loads and loads of presents. We were lucky. I come from a big family, and so we got lots of presents from uncles and aunts and all that kind of thing. And so as Christmases were, they were brilliant. Loads of sweets. There was always those selection boxes and the Christmas stockings full of sweets and oranges and all that kind of thing. They were absolutely great. And as I've got older, I've realised that Christmas isn't the same as it used to be. Now, as I've been talking about on the live streams at the moment, I'm heading off to help my friend who's open at a Christmas in Cambridge event. And he's got one of those 100-foot big wheels. I'll put a bit of video on in a bit. And what I've seen there over the last few days when I've been there is an enormous amount of kids, little kids, excited like crazy that Christmas is coming. And that's a great thing, don't you think? And it only brought back to mind that when I lost my business back in 1991, when we lost everything, I can remember how hard Christmases were for a few years and how we ended up buying presents for our kids from car boot sales in America. That I think they call them flea markets, and hunting around searching for something that looked like new but was second hand because we couldn't afford new. And to be honest with you, at the time it really got me down, and to be honest, I've never really gotten over it, the fact that I felt we didn't do our kids justice at the time. But I was in no different a position to lots and lots of other people. And I keep seeing on Facebook and things like that, people saying their kids want this, their kids want that, and they want the newest toys and the newest thing and this, that. And it just strikes me how much Christmas these days is about want. And I say that having been a child that got loads and loads as a child. But for me, even when I was small, the things that made Christmas for me weren't necessarily the presents. I loved the bit where we'd all sit around the telly and the afternoon film would be on, and it could be a James Bond film, it could be It's a Wonderful Life, all of those kind of films. We used to watch all of those, and I'd be sat on the floor with a little bowl of sweets and a glass of cherryade, or cherry soda as Americans call it, and I'd be my dad's remote control, and he'd say to me, James, put so and so channel on and turn this over and put that on, and I'd get up and be the remote control. And I have such fond memories of those parts of Christmas, more than remembering what I actually got for Christmas. The only things I can remember getting for Christmas now are things that I've seen cine-film or photos of the presents that I got. They've never been long lasting for me. And to me, as the years go by, I think to myself that all the kids have to have these new things these days. I think social media makes it worse, and everybody having phones so they can talk to each other about what they're getting and all that kind of thing. And it's kind of taken the shine off it for me, because to me, Christmas isn't really about the presents. And it was brought back to mind again. This month is very poignant for me, in as much as it was the month that they found out I had the kidney squatter. And today, 8 years ago, I was backwards and forwards to the hospital here in Cambridge and expecting to be having an operation, which I did on the 22nd of December. I actually got out of hospital on Christmas Eve. But what I wanted to say about that was going back right to the very beginning when they found the lump. And before I knew what it was, as I laid awake each night, not knowing what the future held, the only things that played on my mind were, how many Christmases was I going to have? Was this Christmas going to be the last one? How many more times was I going to see my children, my two boys? And the truth be told, at Christmas, I've not seen my boys at Christmas since 2010, when my marriage split up and I moved away. And that's not for the want of being able to, it's just the logistics of things, because my boys are grown men now. They have their own lives, they work different patterns, they do different things. So getting down there to visit them means that it generally takes a rather long time being down there before I can actually get some real time together with them. And so Christmas is generally out. I mean, I'm going to be at the Christmas in Cambridge thing today, and right up to Christmas Eve. We'll be closing on Christmas Day and then open again the next day. And so Christmas this year for me, because I'm helping my friend out, is a different kind of Christmas, because I haven't had one like this for years. And yet, as we think back, and I remember those nights awake thinking about what was really important to me. Let me tell you what wasn't important to me. With Christmas coming up, all of the Christmas presents and that weren't important to me. The watching the telly and seeing the telly, the films, and the bittersweet memories of when I was young, that just wasn't even important to me. The only thing that was important to me this time 8 years ago was the people I cared for, the people I loved. And at this time of year, which is an odd time of year, because if you're around family, it's very known that they can get sometimes quite fractious. But for me, it's not about the presents under the tree, not in the slightest. For me, Christmas is about the day itself and who you're with. And I shall spend Christmas with people I want to be with. Unfortunately, this year again, I can't get to be with my boys, but I will talk to them both on Christmas Day. One of my sons is working Christmas Day, unfortunately for him. But yeah, it's not all about the presents. And do you know what? Coming from it at the age that I am now, thinking back, the presents were nice and all that, but the things I remember, the things that are really important about the time when I was a child, was being with me mum and dad and me sisters and me brother and that. All of those were the important things. And so at this time when we're constantly rammed on the television with advertising for the newest toys and the newest things to buy, at the end of the day, it's not that important. What's important especially if you're not of my age, if you're younger and you've got kids of your own, and you've been looking for presents and all that sort of stuff. What I'll say to you is important. Don't use your credit cards. Don't skin yourself and cause yourself future problems by buying the best things that kids can have. What you have to do is buy the things that you can afford for your children. Don't worry about your partner and buying them the best in the world. I've had many times, in fact, myself and Debs, we rarely buy anything for each other for Christmas because we're not that kind of people anyway. But what you have to do, I think, if you're a parent and you've got children who are at home, show them your love. Give them cuddles, give them kisses, tell them you love them, and show them that a family Christmas is about being together. And as you grow older, and if your kids are left home, and if, like me, you're not going to see them, then don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Just get in touch, let them know you love them, let them know you care, let them know you're thinking about them. And at this time of the year, when everybody's rushing around as much as they can, spending so much money in the shops, it really isn't important what you get someone for Christmas. It's who you are and what you are giving in yourself and of yourself for Christmas that's important. And I suppose that's the thing I wanted to talk about today. That's the thing that's important. The rest, well, the rest is just nice froth. It's the froth on the top of the coffee, the rest of it is. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I haven't anything special to really share with you other than the fact that it's about loving the people you love and letting them know that's the best present that you could give anybody. I know there are people that are alone in this world who don't have the joy and the pleasure of being able to do that. But if you've got the time and there is somebody that you care about, phone them up on Christmas Day. Tell them you love them. That's the best present you can give anyone. And at that point, I'm going to leave you because I'm nearly where I'm going to. And I'll speak to you soon.